Hi, and welcome to the weekly predictions based on astrology for the week of February 8, 2021. In terms of the stock market direction, I believe this is going to be an upward week overall, with a slight chance of the market going down on Tuesday, which I believe is the 9th of February. So for the previous month or so, I would say from the January 7th through February 7th, we had a fairly strong disruptive influence, which will be waning at this time, but it is still going to be kind of with us. And under similar transits in the past, we've had various kind of disasters occurring, either industrial disasters or some natural disasters, and they were particularly usually would involve water or liquids or chemicals. So basically any sort of things that are related to Neptune, marine, life or ships, navy, or literally liquids and chemicals. And we did have in the past month several similar disasters, although frankly I was expecting things to be maybe greater in scale, in the sense that maybe would be one large event affecting, I don't know, thousands of people. We did have a variety of unfortunate incidences. So there was, of course, an airplane in Indonesia that went down, and specifically went down into water. And there was also basically a poisoning, chemical poisoning at a food processing plant in Georgia. And there was also just basically over this weekend, there was also, of course, other than like snowfalls, etc., but I'm thinking this probably occurs every year. But basically we had also this glacier burst in India, where unfortunately also many people either were confirmed dead, or 150 or so, I believe, are still missing at this time. And that glacier burst basically led to the hydroelectrical plant being damaged, and the water, I guess, rose really rapidly and burst through the dam, etc. And I thought it was interesting that the occurrence specifically was related to a large chunk of ice apparently bursting or being chipped off of the glacier, and that's what led to a disaster where in the past one of the situations that I had looked at specifically involved Titanic, and of course Titanic was sank because it ran into an iceberg, which of course is a part of glacier that was chipped off and swam away from its mothership into the ocean. So moving back to the predictions for this month, for this week rather, sorry. So for Monday, I think Monday and Tuesday, we may hear in the news increased sort of announcements related to IT, telecommunications, social media, electric power plants, electric cars, batteries, airspace, airplanes, high-tech, any sort of domains that involve electronics or high-speed data processing, networks, etc. And the situations may involve some sort of either withdrawal of the information, reassessment, a report basically that needs to dive deeper. So either something is announced where more research is needed, or literally report comes out that somehow has additional kind of a deep dive information that previously wasn't available, or perhaps there's a correction issued compared to what previously was reported, and or it may involve again data, like earnings data, for example, but it may also involve some digital information on the leadership. So again, some evaluation and something that's like a deep dive or a reversal of the previous assessment. For China, starting about this week into mid-March of 2021, we will see increased focus on partnerships, alliances, deals that are either one-on-one agreements or just negotiations with their partners, particularly business, military negotiations. And also there will be increased focus on leadership, be it leadership of the country of China itself on a global arena, and or on leaders within the country and also on the focus on expanding, especially militarily, or expanding in terms of power, again on the global arena, and showcasing its military might. Overall, for China, it's actually an auspicious time for indeed enhancing and expanding such capabilities, and especially in areas that are related to communication and transportation. So, maybe improving those aspects that somehow are related to military in terms of communicating and transporting something. Also, it's auspicious time for China for enhancing either capabilities or profiting from anything related to, again, Neptunian domains such as oil, gas, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, movies, also recycling. And those areas, again, this week through mid-March there may be some improvements in those areas, or earnings in those areas may increase, and or there may be some news about leadership. So perhaps there are some technological advancements or some restructuring is occurring, some adjustments need to be made, and so therefore it requires a change in leadership, perhaps a new, project begins, and that project requires new leadership, or maybe there's a change in the agreements with partners and some new person now needs to lead that, either that negotiation, or as a result of the negotiation, a new person is appointed to be a leader. And also, as I said, that China itself as a country will also be kind of more featured in the news more prominently in terms of being a leader. And again, this will probably be related to areas related to like IT, aerospace, airlines, high tech, social media, telecommunications, or something along the lines of like whether it's a good or bad leadership, it's something of a position of basically authority in those areas. And again, this may be associated with some sort of innovation coming out of China, or focus on trying to kind of innovate things, and or changing the agreements between China and other countries. And this may require also new leaders to be appointed to kind of oversee that as well. So let's see. So for Monday, as I mentioned, I think market will go up, and Tuesday there may be a slight reversal to down, and the rest of the week I think it will be an up week for the market, and especially Thursday looks like a super optimistic day with a lot of, I guess, enthusiasm about something or excitement in the air. Let's see, and as early as Wednesday, and approximately Wednesday through Friday, so 10th through 12th, may see a lot of announcements, and the upward sort of influence, this kind of a happy, more excited, exuberant influence will begin, I think, maybe more so on the afternoon of Wednesday, and it will really peak on Thursday and will continue into Friday. And on the 10th, there may be increased news on various negotiations, agreements, but there may be, especially in the morning, focus on these agreements kind of requiring some, I guess, not requiring, but rather going in a way that's like maybe somewhat more difficult, or there are tensions or arguments, but because I guess there may be some concerns that whatever the agreement might be, or sale, for example, that it might undermine the value of some communication and or transportation businesses, so particularly like airlines, social media, electric cars, electronic communication devices. So there may be concern about some sale or some agreement or some negotiation potentially undermining the value of certain communication transportation businesses, and therefore these negotiations will have like this more of a tense, I guess, mood. And the concerns may be that basically either this agreement or the sale may affect either the growth or the profits of associated communication transportation business. So perhaps the progress will slow down because there's some financial basically losses or financial concerns, not lack of sufficient funds, or maybe the negotiation is very ambitious because maybe the goal is to implement some latest technologies, but there's concern about lack of funds to actually do that properly. and or that there may be some unexpected changes associated with this, I guess, deal, but that the company or companies or partners, countries, I don't know, are not quite prepared for that particular innovation or that transition. And again, this might be related specifically to communication or transportation projects or businesses. And at the same time, also weather-wise, there may be increased probability of fires or like strong winds, and basically also some accidents involving things that are that explode or fly, and fires. So it could be something like a fast-moving object, like a rocket, drone, or airplane, or even a fast-moving car, but more likely something that's flying, and there may be an accident related to that in the news, and or literally there's strong winds and they cause fires. Then on Wednesday through Friday, there may be increased focus in the news on profits and value of things like sugar or even sugar alternatives, then generally sweets, jewelry, fashion, especially fashion that's like cutting edge, I guess high fashion, some things like unusual, super duper modern, or involves wearable technology, so maybe some fabric that has some built-in, capabilities that are, I don't know exactly what that might be, but something that's like used for some other purpose that other than being fashion, something that related to wearable technology most likely, or any items or individuals or companies that are specifically serving, or not serving, but rather are in the business of doing things that are considered like luxury or celebrity or indulgence. Those kind of terms come to mind. So those areas, they most likely will be one more sort of strongly featured in the news Wednesday through Friday. And we may hear maybe about, again, the value of related either companies or products or services changing. And I think probably in the way that's more profitable for those businesses. So perhaps those some prices may go up, or there may be increased, say, price of sugar, or some fancy, sweet is being promoted by celebrity, and everybody thinks it's really cool and modern, or some new cool, t-shirt with some made of some fancy fabric comes out, and that fabric can, I don't know, serve as a solar panel or something like that. So something along those lines, something that's like cool, innovative, and maybe is extra luxury, but people might be still interested in that. Then we may hear about that on Wednesday through Friday. And also Wednesday through Friday, there might be increased news about either new projects, new deals, or new leadership related to IT, telecoms, any sort of electric cars, batteries, power plants, airlines, airspace, high tech, various network providers, and there again maybe some really exciting announcements, and there's a lot of hype. Either some sort of new product comes out that's super duper cool and cutting edge, and it's just, again, everybody loves the design, and it's like really unique, but also like it's perceived to be very valuable or luxury, or just really something that everybody wants, like a new phone or something like that. And or it could be a new leader, and again, everybody's really gushing over this new person because they're like cool but also good looking. It could be a woman, or it could be somebody who just really has a very good sense of style. And there could be an app, and if it's an app, it would be more likely focused on something that's probably for younger people, perhaps women, and has a lot of like element of I guess it either may be served for, say, shopping, because there might be a lot of element of something visual to it, where visual, and again, focus on something that's like luxury or perhaps travel. And if it's travel, then again, it could be luxury travel or travel to unique destinations, and would involve a lot of cool, I guess, visuals to go with it to entice somebody to buy these luxury cupcakes, or to travel to this unique, maybe even travel to space kind of destination. So something that everybody finds to be associated with, again, luxury, celebrity, but also IT, tech, high tech, and something cool, something that, you know, young people and perhaps women or somebody who just, you know, follows fashion would be more excited about, perhaps because it's endorsed by a celebrity or because, again, it actually involves, you know, clothing. However, and this actually around this time, especially Thursday, but generally I would say, yeah, Thursday to Friday especially would be good times to start some sort of new projects, because we'll have new moon, and projects that begin at this time, or say a product is announced or app, will likely end up being quite profitable, more profitable than perhaps is expected. At the same time, at the beginning of sort of this project, or as this thing is announced, there may be maybe too much hype over it, or kind of over exuberance where its price may be too high, or something is overestimated, and or the amount of actually effort or the technical, you know, whatever skill that actually goes into implementing whatever that new idea that might be announced is required might be underestimated. So basically things may be kind of glanced over, the difficulties may be glanced over, and the value may be overestimated. And so there's initial optimism about this new gadget or app or project that is announced around the 10th through the 12th of February. Around February 18 to 19, I think there may be sort of a pullback on that. I wouldn't say reversal, but rather some readjustment, and so the value may kind of drop, or there may be some new consideration, or somebody saying, oh, by the way, you know, not so fast, like, yes, this will be profitable long term, but first we will have to invest more money, or first we will have to actually do these, you know, difficult technical things in order to make it happen. So that adjustment might come around the 18th to 19th of February. And yet another prediction that also spans 10th through the 12th of February is that there may be some focus rather on someone's rights or freedoms. This could be individual or a group of individuals. So if there's like a decision that is expected about someone's, I don't know, trial, or some decision whether this person or this group will be given additional rights or set free, there may likely be a decision on the 10th afternoon or the 11th. And decision indeed may be such that there is freedom or more rights, or freedom is granted or more rights are granted. And this could be like freedom to travel somewhere. Maybe a group is now allowed to travel somewhere, or travel now is can be done more easily. So then finally the 11th, like I said, is actually a very like important day. I think most important, most I guess exciting day of the week. Probably again a day where one may consider starting a new project, or, you know, plant a grass or whatever, seed or something that even if it's not an actual physical activity, maybe even putting it down on a piece of paper might be a good idea, just to kind of use the auspicious timing. And most likely either projects or leaders or any new kind of app or whatever that's announced, especially on the 11th, will likely be popular and successful. And especially if it's related to either finance, currencies, but also IT, airlines, aerospace, electric cars, high tech. So again, similar topics, anything that's to do with electric cars or batteries, anything that's like requires a high level sort of technical skill, but also social media, anything that involves like large groups of people that are somehow using networks, you know, to communicate with one another, or it could be an airline. So there may be some announcements on on Thursday where we'll probably hear something like that the earnings perhaps are higher than expected for a company in one of these areas, or that maybe consumer spending can increase on some sort of electronic gadgets, or that airline travel had picked up, or like I said, there's like more freedom. Maybe there's easier way to travel for larger groups of people, so there's this high expectations for the travel to pick up, or that there is some sort of a new innovative technological solution is announced, and now it's being really kind of enthusiastically discussed, and everyone is optimistic about what it might mean for, again, for IT, airlines, etc. And at the same time, regardless of the direction, I think it will be up on Thursday, but I think regardless of the direction, it's going to be an important day where we will see greater than usual market moves. And Friday, I think we will still continue having this sort of pleasant, happy mood where I think market will still go up on Friday, but I'm less confident about Friday than about Thursday. And let's see, the ongoing general background influence, as I mentioned in several of the videos, we have this Saturn square Uranus, which will be probably manifesting as some sort of ideological clashes between like this more sort of progressive, radical, maybe even I guess ideas that demand like freedom for all, equal rights, and more innovation happening fast, and this more conservative influence where represented by Saturn, that basically says, okay, we can't proceed too fast because we need to be super careful. Maintaining status quo is better unless you know what you're doing. So basically, this will be on and off. And on the one hand, it may lead to some technological progress, but as I mentioned before, it may be through things first breaking down because things were going too fast, too much innovation, too fast. But then you have this Saturn kind of has to come and basically discard things that didn't work out. Maybe there's an accident, the part is found to be defective, but then there's a technological innovation to fix the part, and now we have new, better, improved, some sort of electric part or part that's part of some electronic system. And at the same time, these periods, which will be in effect as a background influence this week, but also throughout, say, November of 2022, will coincide with kind of not only ideological tensions between, say, groups of people, or also potentially accidents that involve like some sort of, again, technology that breaks and then is fixed, but also ups and downs in stock market, but also, some sort of accidents, and especially when this square is joined by Mars, like we had in January, and also we will have it at the end of June through early July of 2021, and at that time Mars will make things kind of be from just ideological kind of disagreements to probably spill it over into like protests, actual disasters, clashes, actual fires, explosions, and particularly the period upcoming, I guess the summer, end of June to early July, looks difficult to me. Previously, under similar conditions, there was a really large fireworks disaster. In fact, apparently per Wikipedia, it says like it's the worst firework disaster in all of history that occurred in 2000 in Dutch city of Enschede. And let's see, some other interesting background influences. I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but let's see, we will have still focus on oil, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and Navy, etc. Strong through the end of February, and then at other important times of the year where if you specifically follow things like, again, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, oil, any of these Neptunian domains, they will be more prominently featured in the news coming up in April and September, where there may be important decisions. In those areas could be clashes between countries that perhaps are oil producers, or clashes over, say, transportation of oil, or any really projects, or even some manufacturing and or processing of oil. And it could be from just disagreements and I guess tensions between, say, countries that produce oil, or clashes and disagreements about transporting it, to actual accidents where things go wrong, or it could be like an oil spill, etc. And this more specific times where I think this may occur is April 8th through 11th, and then September 1st through 3rd. And of course, other Neptunian areas may also be in the news at the same time, so this could be related to other chemicals, pharmaceuticals, gas leaks, problems with, again, chemical spills, or problems with some, side effects from some pharmaceuticals, or concerns about the cost of the pharmaceuticals, or flare-ups of various infectious diseases, etc. And at the same time, again, April 8th through 11th, and then September 1st through 3rd of 2021, may also see dips in the markets, again, possibly related to concerns about oil prices, or concerns about any of these other related Neptunian areas. Let's see. So I think I'll wrap this up. There's some more details and a little bit of a glance ahead on my blog at tolstonka.com, where you can watch some of my previous videos where I usually cover those things, but I don't want to make this video to be too long. So until then, I think this will be a pretty fun week, and Thursday again is a good day for starting new projects if you so desire. So I have you have a great week, and until next time, bye.